Hi everyone, I'm Carol, welcoming you to my channel as I continue the Pythagorean triangle series. Now this will be the first in analyzing what full number lines are and represent in the triangle. We've already gone through each of these single numbers and how they interact in your triangle from the date of birth. And here is just a quick reminder. You've taken your date of birth and the numbers in your date of birth you placed in this chart, this diagram, these two intertwined triangles. So your 1s, 2s, 3s, 4, 5, 6, all the way up to number 9 were transferred into the triangle. We discussed what each of those indicated, whether you had some missing or you had one or more of those numbers. Today, what we will be discussing is what is called the planes of expression. So it will be helpful for you to take out your personal six-pointed star as I begin with the first of 8 configurations existing in the triangles. They're going to be both full number lines and empty number lines or planes of expression. I'll also be giving insights, this is a little bonus, in the qualities of being born on the 10th day. So first, let's define the meaning of each of these possibilities. A full line, if you have a full line in your birth chart, it is usually considered positive and adds strength to your overall chart. A missing line indicates an area of weakness, and in some cases, and what I have seen, when there are multiple missing lines, and this is fascinating, the individual usually becomes aware early in life and makes necessary changes. It's almost like when we discuss their charts that have multiple missing lines, they'll say, yep, I know this about my personality. Yep, that's one of my characteristic traits, and I've done A, B, C. So it depends. If you have just one, that is a sign of weakness, but it seems, in my experience and other books on numerology, that those who are born with multiple missing lines usually get a wake-up call early in life, and then they can choose to work with that weakness and overcome what that weakness entails. Now, what we're going to be discussing today, no one can be missing the plane of expression. I will be telling you the positive qualities of that and, of course, the weaknesses of that. But if you don't have a plane of expression, but if 2 of the 3 numbers are missing, greater emphasis is needed for you in those areas. So what you would do is you would monitor your thoughts and your thought process. And 2, your thoughts are often going to be led by actions. It may be wise for these individuals to think twice. And if the number 2 is lacking, do some inner reflections in that process before you make a decision. All right, so let's go and give you guys some visuals here. This is the first plane of expression, and of course it is number 1, 2, and 3, and it is called the thought line. And as you can see, if you're born in the 20th century or the 21st century, you are assured a 1 and a 2. So everyone doesn't have a blank or a missing thought line. The area that you have missing, again, go back to what I just said earlier. Okay, so this is our plane of expression. We're discussing the thought line today. And here is our sheet where you can take a screenshot, and it will help you with evaluating not only your chart, but those in the family, which is always fascinating. So when we are analyzing the planes of expression, we're talking about number 1, 2, and 3, and it is considered the line of thought. Most common in 20th and 21st centuries, I've already covered that. This plane of numbers on the left side of the triangle. Well, we were told that this side of the triangle is receptive, and it is of the feminine nature. And some numerologists give a lot of energy towards the mother figure in one's life, the biological mother or a surrogate mother, but someone who has that nurturing ability. That is also a consideration from some numerologists, but certainly it has to do with more of the receptive line of the two triangles. Okay. So it is on the left side of the triangle in a chart and are important components as they are gateway numbers to other planes formed in the triangle. So this is what I mean by that. If you have a 1, it is the gateway to another line of expression. And the same is true for the number 2, and lastly for the number 3 line of expression. All of these we will be discussing in future videos. But these numbers are so instrumental as they are the gateway to other dimensions of the Pythagorean lines of expression. So what are the meanings? The individual having the line of thought possesses these qualities in varying degrees. A unique blend of 1 we call the intellect, 2 we call the intuition, and 3 we call the expression number. These individuals enjoy planning, organizing, and thinking things through before embarking on a project or idea. They like working and mixing with others, are usually social, and have a willingness to share. Most are tidy and like their working place or living environment just so. Now, their weaknesses is in being undisciplined with details. That is for the 1, 2, 3 line of thought. So being aware of that, cross your T's and dot your I's. Now, these are the variables that I always like to give. 2 or more 1s in your plane of expression on the thought line identifies the individual identity and ego are enmeshed in their thought process. There is leadership qualities and greater self-interest and energy for achieving plans, or bringing ideas to fruition. So 2 or more 1s do straighten it, as some people like to say, you've got skin in the game. Now, 2 or more 2s may be a bonus, adding a personal attachment in business dealings, in the agreements and the creative projects. When 3 or more 2s without a number 5 or 4, which is right next to the 2, the 5, that always adds some type of balance, or 4, which is grounding for the extra 2s, could be too much attachment or individual personal needs having to be met. There could be lack of follow-through, distractions, and change of mind and heart. Now, I put down self and partnerships because this could be individual ideas and goals and creativity, or those formed with others and partnerships. The individual with additional 2s and a single 1 find decision-making challenging. Patience is needed for these sensitive feeling individuals. So if you are in a partnership and you know this person's character traits, then you realize that maybe a little bit of patience will go a long way. Now, if there is 2 or more 3s, now we're getting up here into the creative realm, the mind realm. So 2 or more 3s adds additional attributes of creativity, expression, and inner force to execute it. Okay, now Mars, here's a reminder of the planets you're working with this plane of thought. You have the sun, you have the moon, and you have the Mars, all working in unison to bring about your ideas, your creativity, your plans. Abilities to use words effectively. Some are professional speakers. Coupled with double 2s, the individual can be a great debater and diplomat. Many have a persuasive manner and way with words. So that is for the 2 or more 3s along with the 1 and 2. 4 3s are more likely to go it alone with projects, creativity pursuits, and ideas. There is a strong force to initiate and take action immediately without attending to the details. So there is that kind of that yellow red flag here for 4 3s in the chart. Okay. With a line of practicality, also called dexterity. That is line number 1, 4, and 7. Again, we'll discuss more in depth in future videos. Would help greatly balance where there is excessive influences of the numbers I've just spoke of. Okay, as promised, a little bonus, because if you do have this line of thought, of course you have a number 1 somewhere in your chart. If that number 1 was part of you being born on the 10th day of any month, you are in union with spirit. So anyone born on the 10th day, whether or not you have a line of thought. The number 10 in Kabbalistic symbol is for the tree of life with the 10 sephirots, and those are centers of life and power. The number 10 is I'm going to say the highest completion, because a lot of people use the number 9 as completion. And yes, it is a number of completion. We have now completed all the single digits. But the number 10 has completed a cycle of personal growth and attainment and is in a transitional period now, working towards that higher octave and that blessing of spirit which comes from the symbol of the 0. So it is a dual number, blessed with higher understanding. It's protected by the 0, the spirit, the Alpha and the Omega, the cosmic egg, the universe, whatever you choose to call it. And it lives purposefully because now it has attained that knowledge of the last 9 evolutions of the numbers. What you need to remember is what you give returns. Follow the high road. All right, friends, I'm going to leave it there. This is the analyst for the plane of expression known as the thought of line, the line thought, and this is where it is in your Pythagorean triangle. Thanks, everyone. Any questions, let me know. We'll talk again soon.